All right, let's get this thing started. Hello, everybody. Oh my God, it's good to be back. Happy New Year. This is my first live stream in like a year, I think. I think it's been like a year since I've done a live stream. I've like moved studios, I've moved states. I'm no longer in Baltimore, I'm now in Columbus, Ohio. So, like, everything has changed. So much has happened, and I would love to tell you all about it. But first, I just want to welcome everybody back to Jay Lippman Live. So happy you're here, doing things a little bit differently going forward. I'm going to try this whole thing of actually like planning topics to talk about for these live streams, and then opening them up for Q&A later. We'll see how that goes. If the consensus is bring back just the random musings of my really weird brain, we can go back to that too. As always, there is a link in the description. If you have any questions about Davinci Resolve for iPad or anything else, click that link, fill out the form. I'll be going through those forms once I kind of go through my little spiel on the iPad. And yeah, and as always, you can post in the comments as well, or in the chat as well. And if your chat comes along with the super chat, your question will get bumped to the front of the line. So with that being said, Jim Robinson, let's jump into the chat. Say hi to some people. Darren Mostyn, my friend, good to see you. I actually, in the period of time that I was away from the live stream, I actually got a chance to meet Darren in person. It was amazing. We went out to ResolveCon, and it was a ton of fun. Good to see you in the chat. Bijoy Hussein, I think is how you say that. If not, I apologize. But hello. Welcome to the stream, Jim, my friend. It's good to see you. The artist, Haven Tish, hello. Oh, I've missed you so much. And then Jim, with his, I just got to show this comment here. Pick topics so we can then change the topic. That is what we do here at Jay Lippman Live. That is what we do. That is what we do. If any of you are following me on Twitter, you may have seen this, but Puget Systems, where's the logo? They sent me, it took a while to get here because it went to my old house first and then had to get sent here. But they sent me this like little goodie box with like a bar of chocolate and a couple little things of coffee and a coffee mug and a candle. And so, you know, shout out to Puget. They're not sponsoring this live stream, but shout out to Puget Systems for continuing to be one of the coolest companies around. Yeah, we kind of do. Hey, Ardo, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. Okay, guys, so let's dump into this topic so we can get through it. We can talk. We can discuss Davinci Resolve for iPad. I actually found a way to mirror my iPad to my PC wirelessly, so I'm super excited about that. I did it all for this live stream, by the way. But then I found out you can actually record with this software. So now if I do any tutorials, I can just do them right on my computer. Super happy about that. Anyway, let's jump into the iPad. Shall we? Look at that. Boom. This is my iPad. It is a mess. It is this. If any of you ever wondered what the inside of my brain looks like, this is it. Just chaos in a blender. So, but this is my iPad. For those of you who don't know, Davinci Resolve for iPad was just released to the public like a couple weeks ago. I was in the middle of like my end of year break when that happened, and it didn't. And so I just didn't make any content about it. You know what? I just realized something. I need to fix something real quick. There we go. I accidentally had a vignette turned on. That was wicked. So yeah, Davinci Resolve for iPad came out. There's a free version and a studio version, and I think the way the Blackmagic design set it up is kind of awesome for people like you and me who may not necessarily want to pay $100 for the studio version, and I'll explain that in a minute. Hey, Kyle, what's going on, man? Reno, looks like there's going to be a lot more new Resolve users now coming from another software. Yeah, I got a video coming out. Just filmed it today. Video coming out about that on Monday. Little getting started guide. Jelly Duck, what's going on? Backyard Foundry, what's going on, Dave? How you doing? Kevin is my friend. Hello, Kevin. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. We need to talk soon. All right. So Davinci Resolve for iPad. Here we go. Let's start off in the App Store. All right. We're going to start off in the App Store because this is getting started with Davinci Resolve for iPad, right? So if we just go into search and we search Davinci, look at that. Look at that. Boom. Davinci Resolve for iPad. There it is. First one on the left, Davinci Resolve for iPad. Oh, and a very ironic ad above it. That is so funny. There's been a little bit of drama with Filmora lately. Anyway, Davinci Resolve for iPad. There is only a free version available in the App Store. There is no studio version in the App Store. You upgrade within the app, and the way that they did it is kind of awesome. See, the way that they did it was you only see a prompt. You only see a prompt to upgrade to Davinci Resolve Studio for iPad if you use an effect in a video that requires the studio version, which is great because that way you're not really like upgrading unnecessarily. They're actually trying to save you money. And I, truth be told, am still on the free version because the way that I'm using Davinci Resolve for iPad, I haven't found a need to use any of those studio features yet. So a lot of us, if you're using it like me, which is more of a kind of on the go, putting together rough cuts while I'm traveling, or maybe a quick little vlog that doesn't really need a bunch of intense editing. Like that's mostly what I use Davinci Resolve for iPad for. And I think it's really great for that, especially with Davinci Resolve, or what is it? Yeah, Davinci Resolve Cloud. So I can actually start a project on the iPad and then finish it up on my PC, which is super, super cool. So yeah, it's funny how that ad stuff works, isn't it? Let's see here. God, 28 months for membership, Jelly Duck. Good Lord, man. It's been a member of my channel for 28 months, and I've been neglecting my channel members, and I'm going to attempt to not do that anymore. I've got a couple ideas on how to make it a little bit easier on me, because that's the whole problem, is it's just too hard. Anyway, so I've already installed Davinci Resolve for iPad, so let's just go ahead and open it up here. We've got our opening screen, and then it's going to open up to the cut page. This is what, if you have a project that you've already been working on, it'll open up to the last project that you worked on, which is pretty convenient. But yeah, you get two pages here. Let me turn on my little drawing here. If you come down here, and so you got two page options. You've got the cut page, you've got the color page. I'm just going to put this out there in the open now because I know somebody's going to say it in the chat. And the person who says it in the chat is probably going to pop in later after I say this. But yes, there is a hack to get access to the rest of the pages in Davinci Resolve for iPad. That does exist. However, I don't believe it is going to exist for very long. So I'm not going to show you how to do that in this live stream. If you really are intent on figuring that out, there are videos about it. But we are going to, in this live stream, focus on Davinci Resolve for iPad as it was meant to be used with the cut page and the color page. Cool? Cool. Getting fancy with the pen there. Yeah, you know, I got new software. It came with some fun new toys. So we're playing around. I just discovered that little pen tool about 10 minutes before I started this live stream, by the way. So yes. the hack people are using to get full iPad Blackmagic design is not very happy about it. They are now barraged with support for something that's not supposed to be out there. See, there you go. There you go. Exactly. Blackmagic design will switch that access off soon. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, probably. Man, Fusion on iPad would go nuts. It would. It would. Yes. So anyway, we are, makes sense why they aren't happy. Yeah. So I did the little hack, right? I did it, just to know how to do it, but I honestly haven't used any of the other pages. So anyway, let's go back here. Okay. So let's take a little tour of the cut page. Cut page, pretty simple. What I'm going to do here is, just for ease of use, I'm going to use my mouse to navigate this iPad so you can actually see where I'm pointing. But you've got basically everything that you would normally have in the cut page on in the normal version of Davinci Resolve. This literally is like Davinci Resolve just kind of just shrunk down and optimized in the background at a software level for the iPad. There are a couple little function things that change just because they needed to, because you're working with a touch screen now. But other than that, it's basically just Davinci Resolve. This is the cut page. You've got your media pool, which you can turn on and off. You've got your, if you are going to be doing multicam. Yes, multicam. I'm going to turn that into a t-shirt. Multicam. This is where you would work with that. This is where you would sync your clips up. You can turn that on and off. You've got your transitions, all of the transitions. You've got your titles. You've got your effects. Cool thing, if you're using a mouse or a keyboard with the iPad, with Davinci Resolve for iPad, these like top menu things, your little cursor will kind of like snap over them. Makes it very, very handy. Over on the right, quick export right here. That's how you export your video. You can go full screen with your video once you've put something in the timeline. You've got your inspector, which you can turn on and off. It's just like Davinci Resolve. You've got all your tools here. You've got cut. What is this one? Oh yeah, split clips and boring detector. I love the boring detector. And all of your little ways to put clips into the timeline. Like there is no, if you are familiar with Davinci Resolve and you are familiar with the cut page in Davinci Resolve, it is exactly the same. The only difference is, instead of right clicking on something to get a menu to pop up, you long press. That's it. You just hold it down and there you go. Split clips, boring detector. Boom. There you go. That's really the biggest difference here. And it gets even better. You can use Davinci Resolve with the Apple Pencil. You can use it with a keyboard. It supports keyboard shortcuts. You can use it with just your fingers. But really where like the power of Davinci Resolve for iPad comes in is if you have one of these guys, the speed editor. This thing, I picked this up actually before Davinci Resolve for iPad came out. I picked it up not too long ago. I am thoroughly impressed with it, and I cannot believe I didn't get one sooner. So yeah, so that's the cut page. It's just the cut page. And then you've got the color page, which is going to make no sense when we first click on it because I have no footage in the timeline yet. But this is the color page and it's almost exactly the same as a color page. You got all your tools here. You've even got color space transform. You can work with raw footage in here. It supports Blackmagic Raw, which is super, super cool. And I'm very, very excited about that because I'm about to be working on a project where I'm going to be using my Pocket 6K and I'm going to want to start editing, before I get back to my computer. So yeah, but you got all the things. You've got your node graph here. You've got your, viewing monitor here. You've got your effects. You can, turn the clips on and off like that. You can view your whole timeline. Over here, if you long press, you can choose whether you're grading a single clip or the entire timeline. And yeah, what does this do? This increases the size of your node grid. It's all the same stuff, basically. Will the live stream be available to watch later? Yes, Rano. The purpose of me doing these kind of live trainings is to actually keep them around. I'm going to chapter them and keep them live. So yes, it will be available to watch later. I'm gonna keep these on the channel. Jim Robinson has a question here, and I, of course, let me go back to the computer here. Jim has a question. Hey, Leela, what's going on? Jim asks, so if you use it down at the local cafe and you bring a keyboard, speed editor, etc., what do you do when you need to go to the bathroom? Well, if you're like me and you just moved to the Midwest and everybody is unbearably nice, you leave it on the table. You ask a very nice person to watch it for you and all that stuff. But I mean, to tell you the truth, like, I typically don't do that. Like, if I was going to be sitting in a coffee shop, I probably wouldn't bring the speed editor with me. I would only be bringing a speed editor with me if I'm like traveling and I know like I'm staying in a hotel, you know, then I would bring the speed editor with me. If I'm just like on the go, if I'm just, you know, on the go and I'm going to be sitting at a coffee shop one day and using their Wi-Fi and all that stuff, then I am just going to, yeah, I'm just gonna bring, you know, not laptop, iPad and Magic Keyboard, you know, because it's all one unit. So there you go. YouTube royalty in the house, Leela. Unbearably nice. I'm from the Midwest. Look, I'm sorry. I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Baltimore. All right. I'm not used to random people on the sidewalk looking at me and smiling and waving hello. It's not, it just doesn't happen where I'm from. Like my first day here, I was sitting out on my front porch and one of my neighbors who I hadn't met yet was just walking down the street and he just waved and said, hey. And then we had like a 20-minute long conversation and it was so awkward because I'm not used to that. I'm used to people like, you know, I'm just used to people ignoring each other, you know? Like I'm at the point now, I think I'm getting indoctrinated because I'm now at the point where like the sound of police sirens actually startles me. It's no longer part of like just the ambience of my day-to-day life. It's very strange. Yes, Leela, people wave at me. They wave, they smile, they say hi, they open doors. It's very weird. So it's very, very strange. Let's see here. John Waldman, have you found a means of accessing media stored in the Apple Photos app library? No, because I haven't really tried yet. Anyway, hey, Matt Jackson, what's going on? What is going on? Glad you're settling in, Jay. I am. You know, I got this studio here. This is my little safe haven. You know, I've got it and I've made it all modular. So like everything, like this shelf is on wheels. I've got a sound blanket on wheels. Everything's on wheels. So I can just kind of arrange it however I need to, anyway, there's going to be a studio tour coming out on my vlog channel at some point. In fact, we're going to, they open doors when they see you walk. No, not when they see me walk by, when they see me walking up to a door. Anyway, let's get back. See, Jim is right. Choose a topic so we can then change the topic. There you go. Anyway, let's just start out. We're going to edit a quick video here. Okay. I'm not even on the iPad anymore. Here we go. iPad. All right, we're back in the cut page. First thing we got to do, obviously, is import footage. So let's go ahead and open our media pool here and just click import media. And there you go. This is all the files on your media. Now, I do have an external drive right here. And I've got, where is it? Studio Tour 2023. That is the project we are going to be working with here. Now, if I go, nope, that didn't work. Hold on. See, this is, I forgot one thing. I can't import folders. I can only import, unless somebody else knows how to, there's just no way to, you have to create your bins within Davinci Resolve. You can't just like drag a folder in. So let's just go ahead. I've only got a couple things here. Boom. Open. Change the project frame rate. Yes. And there we go. We've got my A-roll in here. And it's just, you know, there you go. We've imported some footage. Boom. One quick thing that I did not show you guys here is if you want to just do some quick project settings, this little icon right here towards the top right, if you hold that down, you can choose 4K, 1080p, portrait, or square. We're just going to do 4K here because all of my footage is 4K. And there you go. We're now in, we've got some footage. We can now create a timeline. So we're going to create a new timeline. Is just like Davinci Resolve, right? We'll just call this main. That I was typing on the wrong keyboard. That was ridiculous. There's too many things here, guys. Too many things. Okay. I've got too many. You should see my desk right now. I've got the speed editor. I've got my keyboard. I've got a mouse. I've got my monitors, like my audio monitors. I've got my computer monitors. I've got my Ada Mini. I've got a cup of coffee. I've got a water bottle. It's just stuff, but there's no trash. It's organized. It's just a lot of stuff. How are you getting iPad on your desktop? I'm using an app called A Power Mirror, and you download it on, there's like a free trial, but the free trial only gives you like 10 minutes at a time, I think, of screen mirroring. And then, or there's like a perpetual plan. And there's also a monthly subscription, and I did the perpetual plan. It's like $30, I think. And then you have unlimited screen mirroring, techniques, but yeah, it's really, really easy. And it works great. There's like zero lag, zero latency here. It's fantastic. Okay. All right. Create a timeline. Boom. There you go. And from there, it's just a matter of getting things into the timeline. Same thing. You got your choices of just looking at, individual clips. You've got, oh, I just realized it also mirrors the sound. Ha! Let's turn those down. Actually, I don't know if you guys can hear the screen, but I know I can. So here we go. All right. So it's the same thing, right? You got just clip trimming. You've got source tape, which is just the most fantastic thing ever. And I'm just going to use the speed editor to go ahead and go back to the beginning. And just like in Davinci Resolve, set an in point. Set an out point. And then we can, I'll just use these tools down here so you guys can see, but we can stick it, smart insert, append to the end, and boom, I've got it. I've got a clip in my timeline. Just like that. And just like the cut page in Davinci Resolve, you see your zoomed in timeline up here. You see your zoomed out timeline up here. And there you go. And all of the same tools exist. Every single tool that you had in the cut page on the computer also exists in the iPad, which is super, super cool. Yeah, I'd hide and pretend I'm not home. I really want to watch the video, and I really need to sleep. Time here is 9:30. John, this live stream will be live on my channel for forever. So you're good to go. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. Second icon, upper left. What are we talking about? Anyway. All right. So there you go. It's really, really easy to add things, and then I can go on. Boom. And there we go. And then we can append to the end again. Ah. And then if I had B-roll, I could maybe scroll back a little bit. Actually, we need to go back to the timeline. Scroll back a little bit. And then source again. And let's just say in, out, and place on top. Boom. There you go. It's the exact same as you would have on the computer. Like, there really is no difference. So like, getting started is just kind of familiarizing yourself with the few differences between the computer and the iPad, which is mostly just the location of a couple of the tools and the and just long pressing instead of right clicking. But if you have a mouse, you can right click. So there's that. The second icon was for dragging. Oh, it's for dragging in folders. I think you're right. You're right. Sorry. I'm doing this live and it's freaking me out. I haven't done a live, like, actual training in well over a year. I hate subscriptions. Well, Jim. Oh, you're talking about the A Power Mirror. Yeah, but you don't have to do the subscription. There is a one-time purchase. But I think it's a perpetual plan. So like, if you want to get the next version that comes out or whatever, yeah, then you got to do it. But all right. Okay. So there you go. That's getting stuff into the timeline. As far as I know, maybe somebody else who's played around with this, I don't think there's a way to actually like separate the audio and the video. But that kind of sucks. But, oh, wait, no, that's what this link is, right? Relink media. That's what that is. So no, I don't think there's a way, because there wasn't in the cut page. Your last live was before I started working at vidIQ. Yeah, it's been over a year. Yeah, so there you go. Right, where are we? All right, so we've got stuff there. I did a whole video on editing audio for on the iPad, because the one thing that they don't have in here is the Fairlight page. But they do have all of the Fairlight tools. So you can do all of your audio editing here in the cut page. The only thing that's missing is you can't really there's no normalization, and track level EQ isn't there, and that kind of sucks. But, you can make it sound decent, and yeah, you can auto. So I'll have that. Actually, that video is already linked in the description of this stream. So go check that out if you want to know how to edit audio. Let's hop into the the color page, because now it's actually going to make sense. So here we go. We've got our clip here. We'll just use that as our hero clip. And I'm going to go ahead and hide my clips. And you can just color grade exactly like you normally would. Why did I change it? Oh, because I was just clicking random things earlier. That's why. But yeah, I can increase the contrast just like I would, especially if you have a keyboard. Increase contrast, play around with the pivot. It's nice and responsive. That looks horrible, but you get the idea. And the same thing, if you want to add nodes, you just long press up here. Excuse me. Oh, that adds a serial node. If you long press, you can add a parallel or a layer. We'll just stick with serial. Yeah, you add nodes. You can do color space transform. All of the kind of default LUTs that Davinci Resolve has, those are all here. So all your film emulation is all here. So if I really wanted to, we could just reset this. We could open up effects, grab color space transform. Boom. output color space. No, not output color space. See, I'm tripping myself up here. Sitting on film log. And then over here, I know I've got two colorists in here and they're probably screaming at me from their computers, but you know, this is just for example. Just for example. Just do, did I have the right one selected? Yep. We'll just do 2385 D55. And there. Now we've got our film emulation, which just happens to look horrible here, but it was for example purposes. So yeah, there's color grading, there is cutting, and I guess for good measure, why not? Why not? Why not? Effects, audio. Let's go ahead and just throw a dialogue processor. On this track here, we'll just do a quick male voiceover preset. There you go. But you can see you've got all the stuff. Distortion, limiter, meter, modulation, like everything that you would normally have. The only thing you don't get is VST plugins. But you've got all the stuff that you normally would. So now we've done some audio. With this speed editor, it's really cool because you can just, if you have a clip select, actually, I don't even think you have to select the clip. You can just, let's scroll back to here. And on the speed editor, if you hold down the audio level button, oh, there we go. No, you do have to have it selected. So you can increase and decrease the volume, which is pretty cool. So, okay, so we've done a little bit of cutting. We've done a little bit of coloring. We threw some dialogue processing on there. Now it's time to export, and that is up here. Export. And we've just got a whole bunch of stuff here. You can export as ProRes. I'm not used to seeing that still because I'm a PC guy and I don't get ProRes in Davinci Resolve. Got H.264, H.265, YouTube presets. So if you want to publish directly to YouTube, you can sign in, Vimeo, Twitter, Dropbox, and then share, which I'm not exactly, I haven't tried share yet. Does anybody know what share does? I haven't explored that. What about project and project settings and color management settings? Thank you. I knew I missed something. I'm just trying to go through it because I know, like, I think people might have some questions. Maybe. I don't know. I've probably done a horrible job teaching this. So, project settings, just like in Davinci Resolve, down here in the bottom right, you've got the little house icon, which will bring up your project manager where you can switch between projects. And then you've got this little gear icon, which will bring up your project settings. So here we go. We've got our master settings, which is the same thing. Frame rate, resolution, frame interpolation. It doesn't have as many options here as it does on the computer, but it's, you know, it's got enough. Image scaling, match timeline settings for output scaling. Then we got color management here, Davinci YRGB. That should be, it should be fine. You know, I think the reason why it looks weird is because it's from the Sony ZV-1 and it was recorded in S-Cinetone, not just like standard Rec 709. So I think that's why we're having issues here, but I don't know. Maybe. That's probably why it looks weird. But yeah, we've got color management. You can do Davinci color managed. You can do automatic, or you can uncheck that. You can do SDR, HDR, just all sorts of fun little things to do. We're going to stick with Davinci YRGB because Cullen Kelly has corrupted me, and now I do all my color management in the color page with color space transform nodes. Oh, Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. Good catch, man. Good catch. Rec 709 is 2. Where's 2.4? There it is. Gamma 2.4. Okay, there you go. General options, not much there. The project settings, there are definitely not as many as there were on the computer. Like, they've taken away master timeline and setting the luminance mixer to 0 and S curves for contrast. Like, all that stuff is gone from here. There's no Fairlight tab here because there's no Fairlight page, and there's no way to meter your audio. Which honestly, like, is my biggest complaint about Davinci Resolve for iPad. Like, I really hope they're planning on bringing some version of the Fairlight page, because without fail, the one thing that is overlooked on almost every mobile-based NLE that I have tried, the one thing that is constantly overlooked more than anything else is audio. And it drives me nuts, because that's like 50% of your video right there. And they're just like, we'll give you some tools, but we're not going to let you really dial it in, you know? For me, it's not that big of a deal because, like I said, I mostly use this as like the first step, rough cut while I'm on the go, move it over to the computer when I get home. But if I was out for an extended period of time, like if I had this at ResolveCon and I was actually putting out videos while I was at ResolveCon and I was using this to edit, I would have been editing everything by ear. I would have had no way of knowing if it's actually correct until after it was uploaded to YouTube, and I could like check the nerd stats to see if it was loud enough. So let's go ahead and save our project settings. There you go. Does that actually look better? Which one? It was this. Oh, that looks much better. That looks much better. Thank you, Jim. It worked. Gamma 2.4 for the win. Share is same as Mac OS. Share, AirDrop, messages, mail, etc. See, that's why I didn't know, because like the iPad and my phone are basically the only thing I have that are Apple. Well, and my watch. So yeah, I never, and I'm the only one in my house that uses Apple products. So there's a good reason why I didn't know that. Okay, but thank you for letting me know. So yeah, there you go. Change project resolution will change the export resolution. It's the only way. Yes. Yeah, no, that I did forget to say that. Why did I just open that? The perils of using a mouse with an iPad. Sometimes you just accidentally bring that down. AirDrop is useful with that. Yeah, I have a little way around AirDrop, but I use WeTransfer, actually. I just WeTransfer to myself. That's my version of AirDrop. Alex Del Bianco. And so my second question is, will you be able to download your edited video from your iPad to your laptop? Okay, so that's a great question. And the answer is not really. Basically, the closest thing that you can do here is using Davinci Resolve Cloud. So if I come here, right? You know what? I didn't even start a new project. So let's go ahead real quick and save this. We'll just call this live training. Okay. Save. Okay. So if we, Jesus, go away. So many notifications that I never clear. Let's open our project manager. So here we have the project that we're working on, right? And this is just a local project. So what we can do if we want to access this project from other devices, we can Now this costs $5 a month, but you can set up a Blackmagic Cloud account, right? Set up a project library in there. And I'm actually, let me just stop. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second so I can sign into this and you guys won't see all my little details here. That should be the right password. Hey! And we'll just come back over here. There we go. Okay, so we're in our... we are now in my cloud library. So we've got a couple projects in here. And what I can do is I can come back over to local. And I'm just going to long press. We're going to copy. Come over to cloud. Long press. Wait. Why isn't that working? I thought I could just paste it. Can't I just paste it? Is it because the project's open? It might be because the project is open. I can't paste that project. But you should be able to just copy and paste from local to cloud. The best way to do it is just start the project in the cloud library. $5 a month is for your library and only from the host. You can have as many projects as you want for that cost. Exactly. Yeah, this is just for the library. This is one library. This library with these 3 projects in it is all five. It's $5 a month for all of that. So the Jay's Collaborations library is, because before Davinci Resolve for iPad, I was only using Blackmagic Cloud for collaborations. Now I have a whole new use for it. Wonder if I can rename that library. Anyway, yeah, this Jay's Collaborations is what cost me $5 a month. I can have as many projects as I want in that library. The only thing you need to make sure of is that you have, the media on all of the computers that you're going to be using it on. So if you put all your media on, an external SSD, you're using it on the iPad. Then when you get home, you open up the cloud project on your main computer, plug in that SSD, relink the media, and you can just pick up where you left off, and you're good to go. I saw a question about LUTs from Tish. From Tish. There we go. What about LUTs? I have a laptop and hopefully can get that to talk to my iPad. Do I need to install them separately? So yeah, the way you can do that. Let me get out of my project manager here. Did I get out? I did. Hold up. Well, actually, we can just get out of Davinci Resolve for this part. If you go into your folder here and you go to On My iPad, you'll see this Davinci Resolve folder, which is right here. If you open that folder, you'll see LUT. And if you put LUTs in this, I haven't done it yet, but because I actually haven't done any color grading on the iPad other than just like testing purposes. But yeah, you can put LUTs, I believe, in this folder, and they should show up in Davinci Resolve when you're done. I think that's correct. I thought that's what Dropbox was for. Wait, what is Dropbox before? Oh yeah, you can use Dropbox. I mean, you can use Dropbox and just have it synced. That's fine. I don't do that. I just use an SSD. I typically just use the SSD that I filmed on because I record to an SSD on my Pocket 6K. So There you go. Hey, Frank in Blackpool. Yes, Let's Work, input and export. It works. I've done it. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that putting LUTs in that LUT folder, it was the way to go. So yeah, but this is all your stuff. This is where your cache is. This is, yeah, LUTs, proxy media, your project library. It's all in this on my iPad section in your iPad. So there you go. So that's Davinci Resolve for iPad. It's pretty simple, especially if you're already familiar with the cut and color pages in Davinci Resolve. Some things, if you're used to working in a more complicated workflow, this is a much simpler workflow. There's only 2 pages. It's cut and color. You can't do a lot of like really, really fancy edits with it. And the export, like it's all like presets. You can't really do custom exports. So that was a little maddening. So there are limitations to it, but, like I said, I think, well, let me get out of sharing my screen here. Thank you, Darren, for confirming that. So yeah, that's Davinci Resolve for iPad. Now, I got some opinions. All right. I've got some opinions. I don't think that, like, I'm not the type of person who's going to go around and say that Davinci Resolve for iPad is like the absolute best mobile video editor out there. Cause honestly, wow, the world sounds really different without headphones. Could the iPad be used as a scope screen? If it can, I don't know. Are LUTs separate for PC and iPad, or are they all the same? They're separate files that you need to bring in to whatever machine you're using. So if you have LUTs on your PC, you know, that you use, and you want to use those on the iPad, you need to take those LUTs and copy them over to the LUT folder on your iPad if you want to use them on the iPad. So there you go. LUTs on PC should work in iPad if correct format. Yeah, I mean the same. Oh, are you saying no? They're the same format. They should all be. Most of them are like .cube. Most of the ones that you're going to use are .cube, unless you're using like OBS or something, and they're weird because they use like PNGs as LUTs, and it's very strange. But yeah, you can use the same LUTs in your iPad as you do on PC. It should be, yeah, should be same format. I'd love to pretend to be a grown-up and see scopes bigger than they are on my computer. Me too, man. That's why I love having dual monitor on my PC, because they actually are bigger. But having an external, like just a dedicated scopes monitor would be super, super cool. So yeah, like I said, I'm not the type of person who's going to go around and say Davinci Resolve for iPad is like the absolute best mobile NLE out there, because one, I don't believe that there is such thing as best. I think it all depends on your use case. For my personal workflow, the only thing I really use the iPad for editing is, like I said, an on-the-go, rough cuts, occasional really simple vlog, right? That's what I would use it for. And for that kind of thing, it's great, especially if you're already using Resolve on another computer. Like if you have a desktop at home, right, and you've got Davinci Resolve and you're already using Davinci Resolve, you're looking for a mobile NLE to like use on the go, then I 100% believe that you should get and download Davinci Resolve for iPad. I mean, it's free, right? It's free. So there you go. But yeah, I 100% believe. But if like this is going to be, if your iPad is your primary editing machine, and there are people out there who only use their iPad, I don't think that Davinci Resolve for iPad is quite like optimized for a smaller screen yet. Maybe they're going to optimize it more. But as of right now, it's a lot. It's like Robin Williams' version of Aladdin's genie, right? Phenomenal cosmic power, teeny tiny little living space, right? Like that's what Davinci Resolve for iPad feels like for me. So like I think as an on-the-go thing, as a supplement to Davinci Resolve on a desktop, it's a great tool, but I wouldn't necessarily, unless you're like, you have to use something for free, you don't want to spend any money, download it, give it a shot. If it works for you, amazing. You've just found a super powerful free mobile NLE that's going to give you more than most mobile NLEs give you. But I'll just warn you right now, there are other apps out there on the iPad that started as an iPad editing app and was fully optimized to be an iPad editing app. So just putting that out there. Let's see. Better make my RTX 3090 work for its space in my computer. Dude, I'll tell you what, I got the what do I have? 4080 now? I got the RTX 4080. That thing is massive. That barely fit in my PC. If you have a second display, you can just unlink them and make them as big as you want. There you go. I'm just learning about LUTs for OBS. We're getting fiber internet, so I'm upgrading my game. Nice. Congratulations. This would be good for younger kids that want to jump into something with their iPad too. A lot of kids these days don't even have a laptop or PC. That's true, Matt. That is very, very true. Like, the fact that they have like a free version that, like, I haven't even, like I said, I haven't upgraded to the studio version yet because in my use cases, I haven't found a need to. I haven't done, I don't edit full videos on here. I've like started projects and then finished them on my PC. So like yeah, there's a free version. So yeah, like for kids, I think it's a great thing. We don't have that much time. Maybe I'll keep this going for a little bit because we only got like 8 minutes left, and I haven't even checked the chat. So let's, or I haven't even checked the form yet. So let's see. Are there any questions on the form? There's one question on the form. Oh, it's from Matt. Wait, Matt, why did you send me a YouTube video? If you're trying to rickroll me, I'm keeping this live stream live. So don't you dare be wow, I can't talk. Don't you dare rickroll me. I don't know why you sent me a YouTube video as a question. I'm not reviewing videos today. Today I'm not. Maybe I'll do that in another video. Yes, you, Matt Jackson, you rickrolled me before. And the live stream where you did it got a copyright claim. My love for you just went up 10x. Are you talking to me? So basically, wait, hold on. Wait, somebody just said something. There we go. Basically start on an iPad and finesse on desktop. Yes, that's what I do. And I only do that if I'm like, there's 2 times when I do that. Time number 1 is when I'm, like I said, out, I'm traveling, and I'm just, I want to get some editing done just to save time so I don't have to save it all for when I get home. And then I finish it up on the iPad. Time number 2 is when I don't feel like sitting in my office anymore, and I want to go up, and sit on my nice, comfy memory foam couch and edit on there. And then I'll bring the iPad up there, because it's less bulky than the laptop. I mean, my laptop is amazing. I absolutely love my laptop, but it's much bigger. It's much bigger than the iPad. And I have like I think I have the 2 terabyte iPad, if I remember correctly. So like, honestly, the SSD isn't really necessary. I can just put the files on my iPad and go, or use Dropbox. But yeah, those are the 2 times when I use the iPad for editing, when I don't feel like sitting in my office anymore and I just want to sit on the couch and, you know, start editing there, or if I'm out traveling. I think you can use it as a main NLE. It's not optimized for that, in my personal opinion. But you know, it's possible. It's definitely possible. I'm late to the party, so Happy New Year, everybody. Frank in Blackpool, Happy New Year, sir. You weren't quick enough on the mute button. Oh, yes, for the Aladdin reference. Well, I'll be on iPad Resolve next ResolveCon for the vlogs. Yes, dude, Darren, exactly. Yeah, next year ResolveCon, 1000%. I brought my laptop before. It was so much extra weight. Like, if I could just bring the iPad and just have that with me, I can just break it out, start rough cutting the vlog. You know, good to go, man. Good to go. I would suggest getting a dongle that has a headphone jack, though, because I will forever be adamant about using wired headphones for audio editing, and never use a mobile device's built-in speakers for audio, for any kind of editing. So that's it. Yeah, this was weird. I've never done like a dedicated topic. I think I tried once doing a dedicated topic for a live stream. So this was a new experience for me. I would love to know what you guys thought. I am bringing back the weekly live streams. So, let me know what you guys think about this format. Do you like the educational thing? Would you like it to go back to just the random chat and answering just questions about Davinci Resolve and filmmaking and video editing? Like, just, you know, consensus wins, guys. I'm here for you. I am here for you. That's my spiel. What time is it? It's 2:57. Holy moly. Back to the old one. My new laptop gets too hot to be a laptop, and it sounds like a Prius when I'm editing. Did you guys by any chance hear the rattling that was just going on? I'm desensitized to it. I just realized it happened because it shut off. I don't know what that is. It's not my air conditioning, because this doesn't happen when the air conditioning or the heating kicks on. I don't know what that rattling is, but it happens a few times a day. It drives me nuts. I haven't been able to figure it out. So, and it's loudest in this corner, because like whatever's rattling is in, I don't know. It drives me crazy. iPad is a good chill option. I've got Affinity art software already. There you go. I feel self-conscious about my small 4K 32-inch monitor. Dude, I'm working with two 4K 27-inch monitors, I think. So it's not that bad. Wait, this wasn't a random chat? I mean, it sort of was. Yeah. Jay Lippman, maybe a subject to get the party started and then let it evolve with questions. There you go. Joking. Great insight. So good to see you back in my Wednesday evening. Feels like lockdown again, right? I missed this. I missed hanging out with you guys and talking and all of that stuff. I missed it. And yeah, I'm glad I've figured out kind of a workflow and a way to be able to continue to do these live streams and continue to put out videos. I've kind of figured out my format for stuff. So there's going to be a lot more of these this year. 51 of them, not 51. How many weeks are in the year? Yeah, 51. There's going to be 51 more of these, people. Unless something happens and I got to take a break one week. But yeah, this is back. New studio. Not using the Pocket 6K anymore. This is the Sony ZV-1. So I got autofocus now on my live streams. See? Whee! Yay! Hope Ari and the kiddos are good. I've missed you. I missed you too, Tish. They are good. The kids are good. Kaylin just went back to school off a winter break today. Today was her first day back. Killian is finally warmed up to his daycare and now loves it. He like jumps out of my arms when I bring him in to go play. So that's great. Seen the new Panasonic S5 II. Right before starting this stream, I watched Gerald Undone's video about it, and then I went and checked the prices, and I considered it. I'm considering the S5 II. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna get another camera this year at some point. I don't know which one it is, but it is going to have continuous autofocus. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I may get another 6K. I may get like this 6K Pro or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get the S5 too. Who knows? But it would be nice to have a camera that's a little bit easier for like run and gun filmmaking stuff. Filming myself, really, like it would be nice to have a camera that's better for like filming myself, not in the studio or like not in a set place. Like, you know what I'm talking about, like doing my sketches and stuff like that. It would be nice to have a camera that's easier and that gives me better quality than the ZV-1 does. I love the ZV-1 for vlogging, but it's not a filmmaking camera. So how much are they? It's like $2,000 for the body. You can get it with their kit lens, which is like a 20 to 60 millimeter and I think like the body with the kit lens is like almost 2,300 or something like that. So I'm using the ZV-1. Yeah, the ZV-1. I'm using it as my webcam right now. Got a dummy battery. I've got little HDMI cable going into my 8M, my 8M Mini. I considered like getting another little rolling table to keep like my laptop and my 8M Mini on, and then I could just like hook up the Pocket 6K and all that. But that's just too much. Now, like you'll see when I put out my studio tour, I've got the camera. Or I've got like a little live stream set up here. This is like my live stream and web calls. Like this is what it looks like. And then, this little, sorry, got my left and rights mixed up. This shelving unit here gets rolled over to that side of that little coffee sign behind me. Where I can't. That one right there. That coffee sign. It gets moved over there, and I sit in one of those little stools, and then that's filming my main videos. And everything's on wheel. Like everything that I need to like move around is on wheels, so I can like set up different sets. One of my lights just died. Which one? Oh, the one that was illuminating back there. Do you have mains for the ZV-1 then? Dummy battery? Yeah, I got a dummy battery. I was using the micro USB port to charge it, but then I was a guest on Daniel Batal's stream last week, I think, and my camera died in the middle of the stream, which is when I found out that using micro USB, your battery still basically dies after 3 hours. So I got a dummy battery, so now I don't risk that happening. But yeah, I do. GH6 is shocking for Astro night shots. Nice. Looks better than I expected. Where's the pocket? The pocket? I'll show you the pocket. Hold on real quick. I did a very YouTubey thing. This is my sound blanket on wheels, by the way. It also doubles as a cable cart. So here's the very YouTubey thing that I did. You can't, here. Let's go vlog mode. Boop. There it is. There's my Nanlite Forza 60. There's my Pocket 6K. Can't really see it, but that black boom arm right there has my Deity S-Mic 2S. Got my Blackmagic Video Assist, all on this stand, which is on wheels. Got a power strip clamp to it. I know a lot of people who do this use V-mount batteries, but I was trying to save money because I just, moved. Maybe I'll upgrade to V-mount in a minute, or in a little bit, but there you go. So there you go. The light failed. Makes you stand out better from the background. There you go. I was trying to make the background more interesting. No, if you guys like this, we can do it this way. Gotta go. Sorry. Night, everybody. Yep. So there you go. That's my setup right there. It's very, very tiny. It's Aladdin's genie in the studio. Phenomenal cosmic power, itty bitty living space. So, all right, guys, it is 5 after 3. I got to get ready to go get my kid from the bus stop. So I'm going to hop off, but thank you guys so much for joining me on the first live stream I've done in over a year. I've missed you guys so much. I love you all to death, and make sure you stick around for next week's live stream. Keep an eye out for Monday's video. It's going to be like a getting started video for people who are migrating from Filmora to Davinci Resolve. It's really good for just anybody who's getting started with Davinci Resolve. Just kind of like setting up Davinci Resolve and optimizing it for your own personal workflow. So I'm going to go over all that in this Monday's video. Keep an eye out for that. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already and you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments once this thing's done streaming what you guys think. Should I go back to the old format? Should I stick with topics? Let me know. Love you guys, and I will see you. I'll see you in the next video. Yeah. All right, guys. Peace.